Okay, hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I want to demonstrate the React agenda app, which I created. I will explain how it works and what are the functionalities. Then I will also demonstrate the code a little bit and how it's structured and how it works. Okay, so let's get started. This is the React Agenda app. As you can see here, this is the app. This app is a simple CRUD application, which is used for creating, updating, reading, and deleting the agendas. By agenda, I mean each agenda has a date, a title, a status, and also a description. So as you can see, we have some testing agendas, which I already added to the database and to the application. So if I delete those testing agendas, as you can see, when you don't have any agendas, it will alert you that there aren't anything in the database and in the application. So it says no agendas yet. Click the add button to add one. Okay, so if I click, oh, by the way, if I refresh the application, it is all connected to the database and we have no problems. So if I click add new, a pop-up will be represented on the screen, which is a form for adding a new agenda. So first thing is agenda title. So I'll write React introduction. After that, we have description. So we can add a description for this agenda. We can make it a little bit bigger or smaller. So the description is up to you what you write. So I will just say in this part, I will give an introduction to React.js. So in the status, you can say anything. For example, started, pending, upcoming. It's up to you. So I will write starting soon. For the date, you can choose the date that this event is happening, this thing is happening. So I will choose tomorrow at maybe 4 p.m. 4:14 p.m., something like that. So I can cancel or I can click add button. So if I click add button, it will be added to the database and also to the application directly. So if I refresh, I can see that my agenda is still there. In some situations, we need to add a lot of agendas. So we cannot do it one by one by hand. You may have a spreadsheet, an Excel file. So in this situation, you can use import feature, which is here. You can click import. And another pop-up form will be represented on the screen. By the way, this pop-up form can be also closed by clicking this dark background and also by cancel button. So we can do that. Okay, so after that, we have to choose a CSV file, which is a very good file for saving these data. So if I click choose file, and choose the file that contains our agendas, the ID, the title, the description, the status, and also the date and time. So if I choose this file, as you can see, the file is selected here. Okay. Choose again. Okay. After clicking import, all of the agendas will be added to the application and as well as to the database. So if I click importing, boom, everything is added to the screen. So these are the agendas that added to the screen. So if you refresh, all of them will be there without any problems. So as you can see, it is working correctly. So far we have tested the add and also import. Let's also test the export feature. By clicking this export button, every agenda in the database will be exported in a CSV file. So if I click export, as you can see, the file has been downloaded, which is this file. So if I click and check whether the agendas are there or not, we have 5 agendas, which is okay, because right now we only have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. This is all about adding and also exporting. So for changing and deleting a specific agenda, we can use these 2 buttons. So for editing, just click this edit button, and maybe you want to add some extra information or change the state. For example, you can change the state to star tip. By the way, we can do it automatically by the date, but you may also use it manually. So I can change this to maybe expired or done. It's up to you. Okay, so if I click update, you can see everything is live, and without refreshing the page, we can do changes to the to agendas, and also we can delete it. So if I want to delete this agenda too, I can click on this delete button and it will be deleted in the database and also in the application as well. So in the backend and front end, everything is connected. So if I click this delete button, and it is gone. So right now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I refresh for checking the database also, we can see it is okay and everything is synced correctly. So these are the features implemented for this application. If I want to demonstrate a little bit about the code, by the way, this app is also the front end and back end of the application is deployed to the Heroku and Netlify. So the backend is in the Heroku and the front end is deployed to the Netlify. So let me just show you the addresses. So this is a link for the backend, and this is link for the front end. So these are the links for accessing this project. Okay. To quickly demonstrate the back end of the application, we can see that we have a basic Node.js application. As you can see in the in this part, we have the main application file, which is app.js. As you can see, we imported the packages and also created some middlewares for example, for managing the course problems, allowing access from everywhere, and allowing also the get, put, and post and delete requests. Okay, so this is some general steps for creating a backend server. I used the body parser and also the .env environment for managing the environment variables. After that, this is the route, which whenever we visit our API, send a GET request to our API, we will receive a welcoming message. And also for managing the routes, the endpoints that we are not interested in. For example, we are only interested in agendas, routes, and endpoints. We don't care about the other things. So the other requests are handled here, as you can see, by star notation. And the user will receive a response from the server that this page is not found, and we are not interested in this endpoint. For the agenda, which is the core route and the main route of this application, so I created as a separate route for this part. So let me just, yeah, it is. Oh, it's opened here. I used the express multer and path and delete. The path and delete and multer are for managing the CSV file when we create, for example, for exporting, and as well as for importing. We will receive that file and we will also save the data to the database, and then we will delete that file to not increase the storage and to not pass the storage limits, because when you save it, the data in the database, the file is not it's not needed anymore and we can delete it. So I created a folder called uploads in case that we need to upload a file temporarily in the uploads folder to use it and to, for example, to give access to the user to download that file. And after that, we will delete that file, or maybe we'll update it to a new one. So this is for handling that sys storage, which is a storage multi disk storage. And also to give a specific unique name by date, by the date in timestamp, which will give a unique number so for each request that contains a file, and the file will be uploaded to the server. So this is the upload variable, which just gives some options to the multer. The only option is the storage, where the multer should save the files, which is uploads folder. Then I created a MongoDB model, as you can see. So this model is it will create an object for our data, which is just an agenda object, which contains title, description, and status, and also date time. This is very important because we want to have a structure for our data, what we are interested in, and what we will save and what we will use in our application. The title and description and status are all strings, so the type is string, and the date and time is date. So we have to be careful before we save the data to the database. We have to check that it is in the correct type, otherwise it will not be accepted. Okay, so this is for this part, this one. Okay, so then I handled the endpoints for the agendas, the get request to the /agendas, which will response, and it will send back an array full of agendas, and it will also sort by date from the upcoming, from the newest to the latest. So it will sort in descending. This minus is for that. Also the delete request for deleting all of the agendas in the database. Even we didn't implement this in the front end, but I also created in the back end in case in future, if we need, we can add it simply in the front end. Also /agenda/add for adding a new agenda to the database. So this is in this step, I checked whether all of the fields are received by the request or not. If not, we have to respond a bad request to the user to know that the request is not correct. After receiving the request fields, the request body parts correctly, then we can create a new agenda and we can save it in the database. As you can see, then a response with the new data will be received from the server, and we can also add that new agenda to the screen for the user. For the import, we have I used this CSV parser package for parsing the CSV and for creating the for changing the CSV to a JavaScript object, a valid object, to save it to the database. So this is basically that. So we can change the header from this header to a header that can be saved in the database. Then I just used a Mongoose query for inserting many, for inserting an array directly, not adding one by one with a loop, which is better like this. Also for the export, I used another package, which is called CSV Writer. As you can see, it is just a simple package for creating a CSV file and also to give ability for the user to download that CSV. So in this step, I am creating the headers. Then I add all of the agendas in the database to the CSV file and also give a ability for the user to download it. The rest is handling the CRUD operations for a single agenda, which is handled here, getting, changing an agenda by agenda ID, and also deleting an agenda by agenda ID. So that's it for the features and implementation for this project, and I just want to keep it simple. So if you have any specific question about this project, I will be happy to answer. So that's it for this video, and thank you very much for watching.